morning, Kestrels. Lesson to correct our work from Friday in maths. We were trying to change decimal numbers with, as you see, one decimal place. We were trying to change them and write them into a fraction, okay, to find the equivalent fraction. So for that, we were seeing that all we have to do is was timing it by 10 or 100. So I'm going to do both because this one has one decimal place. I could just time it by 10. Can you see it's only one that needs to go, so I can time it by 10 and that will be 1/10, or I could time it by 100 and then that will be 10/100. Okay, that's going to go to my next one, the same one place. I could just time it by 10 and then it could be 20/10, or it could be, if I want to just show it as a hundredths fraction, it could be 2/10, or it could be 20/100. Okay, next one, same one decimal place. So if I time it by 10, it will be 4/10, or if I want to show it as a hundredths fraction, then it should be 40. Good so far? Yeah, easy? Next one, the same, one decimal place. That means that it will be 7/10 or 70/100. And the next one, 0.9, it will be 9/10 or 90/100. Okay, really simple, really easy. Today we are going to be looking at two decimal places. So we saw the other day, I think that I put 0.12 and I also did 0.25, I think that it was. And then we saw that if we were representing it as a fraction of tenths, we will have a decimal number on the top. So because today we are going to be looking at numbers with two decimal places, we are going to be focusing on fractions that are hundreds. So let's going to just imagine, what about if I have, let me see my first example. What about if I have my first one, 0.34, okay? I have 0.34, and as you can see, I have 1 and 2 decimal places. That means that I will need to time it by 10. And not only that, I will need to time it by 100. So I can just have a whole number. That means that I will have 0.34 is the same as if I time it by 100, I will get 34/100. Because if I time it by 10, guys, it's only going to go the decimal point there, so I will have 3.4/10. And we are going to try to avoid having the decimal numbers on my numerator, alright? So because it is two decimal numbers, two decimal places, I'm going to be timing it by, I need 2 zeros, so I'm going to need time it by 100. Okay, really simple, really easy, isn't it? It's really easy. Let's going to try to do the next one then. This time I'm going to have 0.77, 1 and 2 decimal places. So I need to time it by 100 and that will become a 77/100. And let's going to see, what about if I have in this case 0.08? Still the same. That's not really straight, is it? 0.08. Still the same. I have 1 and 2 decimal places, so I need to make a whole number. I need to time it by 2 zeros, which makes 100. So I'm going to time it by 100 and I will get 8/100. Okay? Do you want to try it? Shall we just do a few together and then after you can just go and do your exercises, okay? So you feel more confident. Right, remember that because we have two decimal places, on my decimal number, I'm going to need to time it by 100 and my fraction is going to need to be shown by 100. So can you try to do 0.26 as a fraction? Can you try to do 0.033 as a fraction? Can you try 0.15? as a fraction and 0.08. We just done it. We're just going to just change it for 0.06. And let's going to just try, what about this? Keep an eye on this one. Be careful with this one, okay? Now, it makes sense, because if you just read this, remember that at school we were reading it as 0.26, and then we were saying the value of my 6. So it's 26 what? This is my tenths, and this is my hundredths. So 0.26 hundredths is what fraction shown as a hundredths. Have a go, play it again when you are ready. Careful on this one, because maybe you will need 2 fractions. We'll see. Okay, I think that you are all ready now to correct it. Let's going to see 1 and 2. So I'm going to show it as 100, and then that will be 3 hundredths. This one, 1 and 2 hundredths, and then it will be 26 hundredths. Next one, 15 hundredths. Easy, 15 hundredths. 6 hundredths. Just by reading it, isn't it? What about this one? If I'm showing it as hundredths, look, I will have 1 and 2. So I will have that's right, 60 hundredths. Or, how many decimal places has it got? 1. So, if you read this decimal number, you read it as 6 what? 6 tenths. So you can show it as 6 tenths. Really simple, guys. I'm not going to keep you any longer, because I think that you just got it really easily, and I want you to just go and try to do your exercises. Just keep an eye, because you will have few trying to trick you, where you can show it as more than only hundredths. Okay, that's what we are focusing on today. Have a go at it, and we will practice and we will correct it tomorrow. All right, adios.